Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each week we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedicte, and I'm feeling less feelings than last time, at least, or last week.
Hopefully only good feelings. And I'm Benedikt. Today is January 10th. This is episode number 166, and I'm feeling good. European good. So actually,
European good, not American good.
Nothing to complain about.
Nothing to complain about. So yeah, just to put it out there, because like this is part of my feelings conflict, I guess. I turn 40 this week, which is a thing that has hit harder.
It's a big round number.
It's a very big round number. And I'm just skipping celebrating. No, not skipping celebrating it, but I used to have this really big party that actually started at like 30 minus 2, I think, because I heard everybody had big parties for their 30th. And we were all from roughly the same age group from university. So I thought like, I'll just have it 2 years before so everybody can come and not everybody is tired of having, celebrating people's 30th. Then I realized my birthday's in January, so I just kept on having them because I would be the first one to have it anyway. So I did 30 minus 2, and then I did 30 minus 1. So I just decided I'm going to skip the big 4-0 and then have the big party next year, either as like 40 plus 1, because I thought I sounded fun. But then somebody was like, if you're going to do it, you got to do 50 minus 9. So, but that just gives me a lot of feelings. So yeah.
True. Or be like super nerdy and do it like at 42, because that's a nerdy number to celebrate.
That is true. So we'll see. But I'm gonna do 40 plus 1. I feel very good about my 40 plus 1. So book your tickets for Oslo. It's gonna be January 13th. It's a Saturday, 2024. And you're all invited. You can't sleep in my house, but you're invited to the party.
Nice. Well, we're recording on Tuesday, and your birthday is tomorrow, but the episode only comes out on Thursday. So I'm a little bit conflicted if I should congratulate you now, or if that's considered bad luck in Norway as well.
I don't think it is. I never heard about it, at least.
In Germany, for some reason, it's considered bad luck to get to congratulate someone the day before or like early. So anyways, as it's not a thing in Norway, happy birthday.
Yay! Yay! I do love. So I am celebrating a little bit. I'm gonna go to the place that we went to for React Norway, this little like spa location down by the ocean that I had a little mini break at on my own a couple of months back. And this time I just told friends that I'll be there from Sunday to Monday because they have a deal from Sunday to Monday. And if you want to join. So I think we'll be at least 3 or 4 people that are going. So that will be like my little celebration for the 4.0, the 4.0. And then I know that the Pirate Princess is cooking up some stuff because I came home on Sunday and there was like melted chocolate all over the kitchen. And I had been sent out of the house because of surprise things. So I'll be fine without my big party.
Includes chocolate. That's a good start. That's promising.
Always a good start. But let's talk about, the year that has been and the year that will come and the next decade of my life.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, do you also feel like 2023 has been like longer than 10 days already? I mean, it's only January 10th, but it feels like it's been going on for a month or so.
Yeah. Yes, because like New Year's Eve feels...
It's like only a little over a week away, right? It feels longer than that.
It does, but I don't know why, because it hasn't been like that much going on. But you're right. For me too, it feels, yeah, it does. Well, this just means like this year will just like slip through our fingers. We need to get on it and plan it, set some goals. Yes,
totally, yeah. So you went ahead and listened to last year's goal-setting episode. Did you like figure out what our goals were? Because I don't really remember all of it.
We actually did a lot of status updates, and then we did a little bit of goals at the end. I think both of us. It seems like we're trying to do this now as well, where it's like, well, let's not talk so much about goals for the next year. But I did catch that you wanted a real vacation, and then you talked about just going to some hotel and have somebody make your meals and just like do nothing and relax.
Yeah.
And then you also talked about a goal for Useless to be profitable, but then you were like, not profitable, but like break even profitable.
Right.
So those were the two ones that I picked out for you. And then for me, my theme was for 2022 was slow and steady, and then not be too distracted by shiny new opportunities.
So yeah, confession time, I guess. I didn't go on a super like mega vacation, but I had a small vacation in the spring, and that was pretty nice. And I also took 2 weeks off in summer, but we didn't go anywhere. So I'm not entirely sure if it counts. I didn't cook for the spring vacation because we were just staying
fail.
at a hotel.
Just kidding.
But I feel like, yeah, maybe like 50% achieved that goal. And then on the userless side, getting profitable also didn't happen. But actually surprised that it was a goal. I don't think it was ever, well, the hope is always there that we'll make it. But I don't think it was quite in the books for 2022. But I'm sure we'll make profitable or like hit break even this year. Like it's number one goal for us this year. So yeah, also failed on that, but this time we'll make it.
I think that's kind of how you phrased it though, like moving toward, at least move towards, like make some strides in that direction. I think we're
in that regard we made it, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah. And also you just hired somebody at this time last year.
Right, yeah. Like I feel like one of the big achievements of last year was building a team and building a company. And I think that's the thing I'm most proud of 2022 is building actually a great team, a nice company culture, and a good company overall. It feels like I enjoy going to work, like at least like sitting in front of my computer and working with the people that we work with. And I'm super grateful that it worked out like that. And I'm super proud that they seem to be enjoying working for us. At least that's what they say. So
that's what they tell me when I meet them in odd locations around the world.
That's good. That's reassuring. Anyways, that feels like the biggest win of 2022 for me. Yeah. What about your goals? I feel like you also you made a good were successful in sticking to your goals, and the shiny object syndrome didn't get you as much, did it? I feel like you focused on Queen Race stuff pretty much throughout the year.
I do feel like I did that, and I feel like I did it in quite a like slow and steady fashion. I think maybe I'm ready to like pick it up a notch or like push myself a little bit more this year, but with kind of the personal stuff that's going on in our extended family with my mom's illness and stuff, I needed to just be slow and steady in 2022, and I feel like I did it. At the end there of 2022, I've now learned that I don't have shiny object syndrome. I'm just very novelty driven. It's all about how you phrase it.
That's good. Yeah, very.
I need to listen to Americans talk about themselves more because they have such nice phrasings. I learned this from Jason Langsdorf. I just like popped by one of his streams and he's like, I'm very novelty driven. And I was like, oh, that's a way to phrase it when you can't stick with anything.
I'm a professional
but I like it. And well, see, that is what I am now. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot, like that popped out of my head while I was doing my planning because I am trying to kind of focus it as a product as a service. Like we can offer that at a very high price, but where we really test run your SDK or your product as like an outsider, and we'll both create, a side project like we did with Preneur Follows, and also give continuous feedback about like our experience. Because I don't think you always get that. Like if somebody tests your product and they don't kind of like it or something is wrong, they'll just often like silently leave.
Yeah.
But we could then kind of like be professional early adopters. And that is what somebody called me at Modern Frontends. I need to remember that. I need to just write that down because I want
Change
to
your
stick with that
LinkedIn
wording.
role title to professional early adopter.
Who's very novelty driven.
Novelty driven professional
But yeah,
early adopter.
No, so I do feel like I managed to slow and steady. Like I did the emails. I don't remember the count now, but we did 105 streams, and we've gotten 105 subs in 2022, which I find pretty interesting. We get like one sub per stream. It's just the exact same number. And just like Vanity Mactos, I think I gotten like 950 or so new followers on Twitter. Which is kind of quite good. I'm hoping to break 3,000 though. So like, tell my, get other people to follow me. But going through this like year compass that you introduced me to last year and listening to the show from last year, I have again realized that like the best moments, because it has you like first you go through the year and write everything that's happened in the year. And one thing I realized there is that yes, I've been slow and steady with like the Queen stuff, but can I really say I've been slow and steady with my life? Because they're like, I went to MicroConf, I went to a retreat in Athens, I went to London twice, I went to San Francisco for Jamstack once. I spent 4 weeks at my summer cabin. And then there's also like cabin trips and boat trips in between there. So like every month, like something exciting has happened. And it's very good for me to actually sit down and look at this list because for some reason, I always feel like I haven't done anything interesting. That's like my go-to state. So I think I need to be more mindful of all of the fun stuff that I am doing and kind of remember them and not be so novelty driven in 20. So maybe with like technology and business, I've been better, but I feel like personally, and I don't think it was too much in a way, but like, why did I then at the end of 2022 feel like I need more experiences? I need more stuff to happen. So I need to kind of like be more mindful of all the things that I do and not just do them and be done with them. So going through, so I should probably do this every quarter at least. Like we could maybe do that on the show. Like we'll go back and look at our year compass or something similar like every quarter instead of it just being a year. And then you're like, what did I promise myself? I don't remember. I think that could be beneficial.
Yeah,
but back to my point.
I keep saying that every year.
Well, we can, with what we're doing here, this is what we can actually help each other with.
Yes.
But that led me to the point that I was starting with, is that I realized that all of my best moments are like people. It's about people. They're always about the people. So one of the things that I realized, because with Prune Your Follows, we got mentioned in TechCrunch over the Christmas holidays and gotten a lot of congratulations on that. And I mean, that is super cool. It's driven a lot of traffic. It's like, it's a cool thing in our industry. But like that will never trump karaoke at MicroConf or midnight swimming at React Norway or some of the things that I've done with like, friends and not industry friends. So yeah, so that's like the second year around, I realized that it's all about the people, and that needs to influence me going into 2023 as well, that I get to have experiences with people, both kind of on the job, but also off the job, if it's going to be viable. Like I can't just do work that is coding on my computer. Like I need to meet people. I need to hang out with them. But yeah, so that's, again, same as, because since I listened to the one from last year, I had that realization then as well. But yeah, I guess that was 2022 compared to what we were saying. But then lots of things for me happened at the end of the year where I realized that why am I not just a developer marketer? Because like, that's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And why hasn't that been obvious to me all along?
So what are your plans for this year, for 2023?
See, this is like, I don't want to put my plans in writing, or I guess in audio format. No,
I mean, you don't have like.
I think
you can just put them out there and then not do them.
I mean, I've done that before.
No pressure from me or anyone else.
No, I think so I put as a theme for 2023 is that I need to embrace or like own that I am a content creator. I think I shied away from that kind of terminology for a long time, in a way, kind of it being, I don't know, inferior to being a developer, or like I had some like weird feelings around that. Like I want to be a developer first and foremost, but I see more and more like it being able to be a developer and a content creator and like still, have your roots in the tech side of things. And I really enjoy, like, we do this podcast, like we do our streams, and we've done that as a hobby, but it's things I really enjoy. And I think it's something we can deliver for others. And not then having to become famous, even though I'm still not decided if I should make a go of creating like a proper YouTube channel where I become like a YouTuber, like a techfluencer. See, I can't say these things with a straight face. To say these things with a straight face. I think it's a little bit to do with we're at that age where we're kind of like in, where YouTube used to be this like fun thing. Like it wasn't like a real career or like a real possibility. But it's become one of those things. And after talking to James, like this is like he's got a real business on there. Like it's a proper thing. It's not just a hobby. So I haven't decided if I want to kind of pursue that, but I think it's really interesting to do it for other companies. And I think that's where I can also get, where that novelty driven thing is actually something that is a good trait, because you have to learn somebody else's framework or somebody else's technology. You need to distill that into a project that could be a video series or a podcast series. And then you're kind of like done with that and you've delivered that, and you don't, or I wouldn't, or we wouldn't have to follow up their YouTube channel for the next 10 years. Like we could deliver something into their kind of existing strategies and their existing their existing echo. I don't know what the word is, but at least like we wouldn't be responsible for the whole thing, and we could deliver some really fun, creative projects kind of into something that they own. So I think that's, and honestly, where we're headed.
This might also help with like just building your own audience, because ultimately this is a way for you to present to people that are not yet following you, that maybe are just following that company or like checking out that company. So it's like kind of like supercharged guest posting on YouTube. So might be a viable strategy for your own audience growth.
It could be. But I see when I've talked to other people who are more content creators, kind of, like James, like they have a hard time figuring out like what is their strategy by being on others' channels. Because when you have like that large of a following, it's always about, them bringing people to the other person's channel, and like what are you supposed to charge for that, and like how does that fit into their strategy. But then for us it would be the other way around, where it's like, well, this, as you're saying, it would be good for us, but also like what we are delivering is something to be had on kind of their channels and owned by them, and then we'll create it in with a joyful tone. But then I hope this is not a shiny object thing. Like I hope this is a natural evolution to everything that I've been doing. And it feels a little too obvious. Like I've always been a marketer. Like I've always just been really interested in it. I just haven't really, I didn't want to go into advertisement because I didn't want to just have to make ads for crap stuff. But here it would be, a different thing where we could hopefully choose who we want to work with, and it's tech products. It's not trying to sell people more stuff to cram into their houses. And I do enjoy most of the activities, and there are possibilities to outsource some of the stuff that we wouldn't like editing, and we would be more of kind of the creatives, and also I guess they call it the talent. That's whoever is on air or on the video. And we can, because of the tech knowledge that we have, we can charge more and then be able to get help with more of the kind of general activities.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a natural evolution from what you've been doing last year. So sounds like you're on a good
Well,
path
thank
there.
you for validating my plan for 2023. I needed that.
So
What
for
are your
me, I
plans for
think
2023?
it's more of the same, basically. As I mentioned, we set a goal for making it to break even this year. It's it's our actual goal. At least I think so. We're finalizing that tomorrow, but I think we kind of agreed on it already. So we're cutting our salaries a little bit and stuff like that to make it even easier. It's not that far off. But I think that will be a good step, because otherwise we'll eventually run out of money, and the fundraising environment isn't that great these days. So, well, sort of it's a necessity, but also I feel like not having to raise money is a good way to raise money. Like, in a way, like if you want to raise money, then not needing it is a good precondition for that. So that's one of the main goals for this year. And apart from that, I think on the product side, we want to make more features for like upmarket customers, like better reporting and all of that. I think I mentioned it a couple of times already. We're also thinking about like establishing a more enterprisey sales flow, at least experimenting with it. So a lot of it is related to going up market and like trying to get like more valuable customers in the terms of like people that can pay us more money. So that's the overall strategy for user list. And then on the personal side of things, I think I want to prioritize having fun and like taking time off a little bit more than I've been over the last couple of years. 2021 was
You need
basically
to take a page out
impossible.
of my book.
Yeah, basically. 2021 was just like an awful year in general, and work was kind of my escape. Like working was my happy path, or my happy time. That kind of continued last year, but it wasn't as stressful. So overall, it was a calm year work-wise, so that was nice. And I feel like this year I want to continue that calm work environment, but then make sure that I do fun stuff on the weekend and not just like sit on the couch and watch Netflix or something like that, but go out more, go to a concert or two or something like that. Stuff that also wasn't really possible during the pandemic. So I want to make this a priority to do more fun stuff with my partner and like just have a good time outside of our house. So that's it for me with goals.
I feel like it's been hard getting back to the good habits that have been gone the last couple of years, because I've always been the
Yes.
person who's taken my laptop and work from like all over the city. And then at some point I was just like, I'm getting an external monitor because I'm probably not leaving the house for another year. So why why not have an external monitor? And now I have to remind myself. So I've been good like going on these trips, but like I said a little bit, like some of them are a little extensive, like going to San Francisco, like there's time zones issues and like airplanes, and I kind of needed that after those years, but my goal a little bit is to do more kind of like mini breaks. They don't even have to be like, well, I need some breaks away from home actually. But like do mini breaks, like going to the spa instead of traveling to the other side of the world, which is what I wanted to do 2 days ago because my best friend is in Australia and I really, really miss her. That's one of the things, the not so good things about 2022. So I was like, let's go to Australia. But then the flight increased by $300 while I was looking at it. So I was like, okay, maybe not. But yeah, do those mini breaks and also just remember that I can take my work into the city and like be amongst people and sit in coffee shops again and just use my own city properly again. That's why I live in the center of town. But I've kind of forgotten, or I haven't forgotten, but like the habits aren't there. I guess the habits are gone.
I feel like a lot of it needs relearning or like rebuilding those habits because they got overwritten by sitting on the couch watching TV and stuff like that, because there wasn't anything else to do over the last couple of years. So yeah, I want to make this a priority.
And this is the reason
be more mindful about it. I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and it's not just us, because one of my favorite coffee shops are closing down now because the volume of sales are not back to pre-pandemic. So people's habits, it's not just the two of us. It's like, it's at least in Oslo, it's an Oslo-wide thing, because a lot of the places aren't seeing the same traffic and sales volumes as they had before. And I think we didn't realize how long it was going to take to reestablish habits from before. So yeah, kind of similar there. I just wanted to say though, that you're being proud of the company and team that you built in 2022 is so, and I don't know what the word is, and not envious. I'm
jealous. You're jealous?
Can I not speak English? I'm not jealous, because I've realized I don't want to build a team. so I'm not jealous, but I'm not proud either, because I think it's cool that you appreciate it and that you see it, and it's something that you like, because that means that you're kind of on the right path with a proper business, with proper employees, and the whole thing. If that being one of your kind of proudest moments and highlights of 2022, it's a good thing for you.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that at the beginning of the year, but it turned out to be, it feels a little bit like it put the entire business on the next level, or legitimized it even more than before. And part of it, to be honest, is just the recognition the business suddenly got from friends and family, because previously they're like, "You're still doing that project with that Russian lady?" And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then at some point I was like, yeah, we're hiring people, and we have a team of 6. We're a team of 6 now. And they're suddenly, oh, so this is actually a thing. This is not just something you do for fun.
You're not playing at business. You're actually doing business.
It's actually a thing. We're actually paying people money to work for us. So I hadn't realized that before, but I guess that played a factor in all of this as well. So it's pretty nice.
I still have friends 10 years in being independent, and I don't know really if I have I don't know what to call but I've been independent. I've had my own, legally it's been my own business for 10 years, but I still have friends who are like, oh, you're so lucky that don't have to work.
I mean, it's kind of
so lucky you don't have a job. I mean, it's absolute, and sometimes it's been more true than other times, but it's well, that's not really how it goes. I do work. I just do a different type of work than you do. But I did write actually down on the, go ahead.
For the most part, it's probably work you enjoy, right? I feel like we had user list happy hours last week, and for some reason we talked about Mondays and enjoying going back to work. It was basically we talked about holidays and breaks and stuff, and a lot of the people attending were founders who were like, I was really enjoying getting back to work. I was fed up with taking a break. I was glad that I could go to my desk and work. And there were a couple people there who were like, what's wrong with you guys? Why do you enjoy working? So I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect there, and maybe we're a little bit weirder than other people when it comes to work, or luckier than other people when it comes to work,
or taking, calculated
or workaholics.
Or workaholics. I mean, there's many explanations to that feeling. I do, I've had ups and downs over the 10 years where sometimes, you take on projects where you're not looking forward to Monday. But I've gotten a lot better at kind of figuring out and assessing the types of things that I do. And I feel like after, and that was interesting listening to this episode from last year. It's I was so energized. I think I woke up on a different foot last year than I did this year, because the first couple of days, well, not really, because I actually got up on the first day of this year as well and deployed the Discord bot. So I guess I did I just woke up later, a little bit more hungover, but I did deploy Discord bot. But like the energy I had last year was like really, I was like, oh, let's just like do this. And I maybe lost that a little bit at the in the fall. But I feel it's coming back. And I feel like this path is absolutely energizing. But accounting still sucks. So just
that's always true. By the way,
for everyone in
yeah. Do you want to add something? I lost you there for a moment.
You said, anyways, now that you mentioned it, and then I was...
Yeah, now that you mentioned that you've been independent for 10 years or like more than 10 years, I realized that 2023 will be my 10-year anniversary of going independent and becoming a freelancer. So that's something to celebrate as well later this year. April 1st.
That we're getting old?
Yeah, that as well. But like being unemployed, like being a contractor is my 10-year anniversary this year.
And becoming more unemployable by the minute.
It's true. Very true. Well, anyways, anything
but
else?
Yes, while we were at the like being, proud and I can't even, where are my words? Like I need to be better at talking about these things. I need to listen to more Americans. Anyway, grateful was the word. Yes. I also, after a lot of travel and meeting people, and I should have probably realized this before, and I have, but I wrote down that I'm just, so kind of grateful for the opportunities that have come my way, and also just like the privilege of where I'm born and my passport and kind of like my family situation and all of that. And it's like weird. It's like maybe also part of by getting older, but I was like getting a little sappy. I'm like, oh my God, I've been so lucky in life. And it was like, I'm grateful for that. So that was like my ending gratitude journal.
Nice. Yeah, it's easy to forget it and easy to not realize how good things are overall. And I also I also feel a little bit bad when looking back at 2022. For the most part, I'm like, yeah, this was a good year. I had a good, happy year, and then only once you start thinking about what else has been going on in the world, realize that, oh man, we're really lucky that we can say this for ourselves personally, where there's been so much shit going on. So yeah, there's a weird disconnect in a way.
It's it's a little interwebs bubble sometime, and I have curated my bubble so to be able to stay afloat and happy and grateful.
Yep, for
sure. All of those things. I guess that's it. I'm not going to try to say anything more wise because it hasn't really worked out for me with my words at the end here. Where it's like in my head, like it's a foreign language, y'all. So you just gotta see. I can't even say that.
Yeah, just like let's
forgive
just
me.
Talk to you next week. Bye.
See you around the interwebs.